Alright guys, Mike Ike MTG here, coming at you with my very first video. Today we're going to be going through Magic the Gathering Arena, and we're just going to be playing through the tutorial. This is going to be a walkthrough. We're going to make a couple videos on this. Two purposes here. One is to introduce people that are new to Magic the Gathering Arena, so you can follow this walkthrough and kind of see how to get into the game and start playing the game. And then also for people that are new to Magic in general, just play the game and learn the game. So we're just going to go through this. So I've already signed in. My account name is Mike Ike MTG, just like my name here on YouTube. And we are going to get going with this. We're going to play the very first tutorial. We're going to go through all the tutorial, and then I'm going to kind of show you all the little things that you want to start doing every day in the game. And we'll just go through that. Just a little background on me too, since this is my first video. I've been playing Magic on and off since probably the late 90s, early 2000s. I don't really play competitively. I've never played, at a very, very competitive level. Never been to any of the big tournaments or anything. Maybe just local stuff. I do enjoy the game, but as anybody with most things, I do get burnt out and then kind of leave it alone for a couple years. But it always calls me back. This last time, Magic the Gathering Arena, when it came out on mobile, is really what brought me back this time. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. Got me playing the game and then sucked me back in, and now I'm playing standard at my local shop and stuff. But I do enjoy Magic. I do think it is a flawed game a lot of times. It does have some flaws, but overall I enjoy the game. But anyway, this is a great way to learn how to play. It's a great way to play the game in general. If you want to learn how to play or just want to play for fun, this is a great way to do it. Doesn't quite have the same feel as shuffling cards and cards in hands as the local game shop, but still pretty fun. And it's actually, if you just want to play to have really good cards, it's just a cheaper way to play. Your standard deck is more about kind of getting a little lucky than it is dropping, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of dollars on a deck. Once we get a little bit further into the game, I will be doing videos on, the different decks that this game kind of gives you, and I'll give you kind of a look at what some of the standard decks that are getting played right now. For the most part right now, this channel is going to mostly focus on standard, not historical or anything like that. And I will go through, hopefully I'll be able to get the cards I need to make the deck I'm running on my main account. And if I get that deck built, we could do a dive into that deck, because I think it's pretty unique. A lot of what you run into on here is going to be the same thing you run at your game store. Most people just net decking, which is kind of boring. But at least right now, there's a few different types of decks that are kind of out there. But I do think the deck I'm running is unique. I haven't seen anybody else running it, so hopefully we can get to that point. But anyway, back to today's video. Today's video is just going to be a walkthrough of this game. And we're going to start with the first part, so let's get to it.
Wake up. Wake up. Whew, looks like you barely survived your last battle, but with some training, you'll become a force to be reckoned with. Let's get started. The elves of Llanowar are impressive warriors. Perhaps one of them will help us practice.
The forest belongs to the elves.
She seems like an enthusiastic teacher. You'll need to draw mana from lands to cast your spells.
Alright guys, so this is going to be the first part of the tutorial, just kind of show you how the basics of Magic and how it works. Anybody that's played Magic knows how this works, but just bear with me as I go through it, because again, this is also for people that have never played Magic. So this does a good job of showing you what you got to do, and in order to do anything in Magic, you've got to spend mana to do it, and mana is generated by lands. So the first thing it's doing is say, play a land.
Good. You don't have enough lands to cast anything yet. So that's all you can do right now.
Alright, so it goes over to the opponent's turn.
Play another land so you can summon a creature.
If you notice in the beginning, the first hand, I actually had two planes here, which is the land you need. But you can only play one land a turn in most cases. So there's other cards that let you play more than one land in a turn, but usually you can only play one. That's why I couldn't play both of them. So now we are here on my second turn. I'm going to be able to play my second planes. And if you look here, it's showing you how I can cast one of my creatures. Now if you look up in here, what it's showing us, it's showing that we need 2 planes, or what usually will get called 2 white, to be able to play this creature and bring this creature into play. So that's what we're going to do. You see they're both the same creature, so we're going to bring one into play.
You can summon creatures to fight for you.
Alright, so you'll notice what happened is my opponent didn't have anything go, and now it came back to me. Now you might be wondering why I didn't get to attack my opponent with this creature first turn. When creatures come into play, they have what's called summoning sickness, so they can't use any of their tap abilities or attack the first turn. We hover over this creature, you'll see it's down here. It's showing us an attack symbol and a defense symbol. That's because this is the creature's strength, or I'm sorry, power and toughness. So it's a power 2, toughness 2, and this is what you use to determine how much damage a creature can take, that's toughness, and how much damage a creature deals, which is power. Now, we can play, this is our third turn, we can play our third land, and we can bring another creature in. Now watch what happens to these lands when I bring this creature in. In order to bring this creature in, I have to have that amount of mana in my mana pool, which again is 2 whites. We create white mana by tapping planes. So when I drag this creature in, you'll notice these tap, which means turn sideways. Alright, here you go. It gives you a nice little breakdown of summoning sickness, like I said. So this creature just came into play, so it cannot attack this turn. However, my creature that came in last turn can attack. So here we go. And you can see power, damage dealt when attacking or blocking. Toughness, damage required to be destroyed. This tutorial does a really good job of going over, the very basics. Now you notice when we attack with this creature, it tapped, which means it is not available to block, and we'll get to that
Now
here
show
too.
the cards to inspect their details.
So in an arena, it's saying we can go over a card to look at its details. Alright, we got another creature we drew. The way it is in Magic, you draw at the beginning of every one of your turns, or the beginning of your upkeep, unless you have cards that let you draw. And you'll notice at the beginning of your turn, everything that you can have untap, which means it was tapped, can untap, unless there's some ability that's not letting them untap. So usually in this game, tap things can't do anything, untap things can do stuff. Alright, so here we go. We're going to bring this guy in. He's a 3/2.
Keep pressing the attack.
The tutorial's telling us to press the attack, so we're going to attack with my 2 creatures that can. Now you can see they've declared a blocker. So you'll notice here is just showing you what happens when you attack and you're blocked. Basically, each creature attacks with their power, and then they attack the defense or toughness of the opponent. And if that goes to 0, the creature dies. So in this case, they blocked with this guy. We're 2/2, they're 2/2, which means we're doing 2 damage to them, they're doing 2 damage to us, our creature, and both of those creatures are actually going to die.
Admirable.
Now our other creature was unblocked, so still got through and hit my opponent. Oh, 4/4, this can't be good.
A big problem. That beast will destroy your creatures if you attack now.
Alright, so usually in this game you might not want to attack into this because they'll just block. Right? We'll just block either one of these. Now the other one would get through to do damage, but that won't be enough to kill my opponent. So we're going to just actually hold back to play defense.
You've shown spirit, but I will show you strength.
Oh wow. Target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. Now it's an 8/8. This is going to hurt. Now if you look, we only have 7 defense, so that would outright kill
One
us.
of your creatures can block it.
So we're going to block with this creature. Now the way this works is this will kill my our creature. However, the damage will not go through to us. So we'll actually survive this. Now if you notice, we did 2 damage and that brought the creature down to 6. However, at the beginning of its turn, at the beginning of its or at the end of the turn after your opponent goes, that damage is healed. Now he did drop back down to a 4/4, but that's because the spell that was used to make it an 8/8, as you can see, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn, so the turn was over, so it went back down to a 4/4. Now we got this nice spell here that says destroy target tapped creature. Cool. So that creature is tapped, and we can play this spell, and it's going to destroy that creature.
You're not making this easy.
Now, they don't have anything to block our attacker, so we're just going to go ahead and attack. Got another 2/2. Oh, got 2 of them.
We've got you cornered.
Cast the spell. Clear a path to finish her.
Alright, now we'll look at this spell we cost. Now, everything in this game is a spell. For anybody that hasn't played, everything's a spell. Creatures are spells. But there's multiple different types of spells. So you got creatures that are spells, and you have sorceries and instances, and there's other types of spells too. We'll get into that. But this is a sorcery. Now notice it doesn't have a power toughness rating because it's not actually a creature. This is just a spell that you're going to cast, and its effect is going to happen. So this one says tap all creatures your opponents control with toughness less than 2. If you look, their toughnesses are 2. I'm sorry, this says with toughness 2 or less. So we'll play this, and both of these will be tapped, and like we said earlier, tapped creatures cannot block. So this will open a nice lane for my attacker, and since my opponent only has 1 health left, we will defeat our opponent here.
Well fought, outsider.
So we got our first win, and now we're going to keep going in this tutorial, and we're going to learn more about things, more about how magic works. Okay, so
Yes, first blood.
Don't worry. These things are basically harmless.
okay, so anybody that's new to Magic, let's see if we can hover on the back of these cards. We can't. But if you look on the back of this card here, you'll notice 5 dots here. There's a white one, a blue one, a black one, a red one, and a green one. These represent the 3 colors of Magic. Our first opponent, if you notice, was playing green. This opponent is playing a red deck. Now you can mix and match, but you have to have the correct mana color to cast the spell. So if you notice this goblin that came out, the Raging Goblin, if you look in the upper right hand corner when it pops up here, you'll notice it costs 1 red. Red is generated by mountains. So if I had a plains out, I would not be able to cast this creature because it needs a red to be able to get cast. You also might be wondering why they were able to cast that creature and attack first turn. I thought summoning sickness was a thing, and you can't do that. If you hover over this creature, you'll notice he has a keyword there, and the keyword is haste. and it kind of shows you up in the corner what haste does. A creature with haste can attack the turn it comes in. So that's why he was able to do that. So we're going to play our 1 land. We've got nothing that we can play for 1. Man,
Okay,
a
maybe
lot of them.
worry just a little bit.
So we're going to get hit by 3 here.
Aha! Second blood.
Right.
You need to mount a defense.
More planes. Alright, so we're going to be able to get one of our creatures out, and we're 2/2. So at least gives us a blocker. So we're going to block 1, and we should be able to kill 1 of them. Ooh. 3/3.
Oh, where that came from.
Okay. If you look, this is telling us creatures heal all damage at the end of the turn. So this will be the end of our opponent's turn, and my creature went from being a 2/1 because it had taken 1 damage back to being a 2/2. Player planes. Look, we got a 1/2 cat. And we still have 2 untapped mana, so we can play our other creature. Now we got some
The
blockers.
creatures aren't tough enough to survive being blocked. Hold them back.
So again, it's saying we can't attack here because he would just block with 1 of these and it would get killed. Now, sometimes it's okay to do that, right? Like if your opponent here only had 3 life left, you'd want to attack because he can only block 1 of these creatures because he only has 1 blocker, and then the other 2 would still do damage and you'd win if he only had 3, but he has 13, and we kind of want to save our numbers. So no attack here.
Everybody but me, charge!
Alright. So, this is going to show us... I don't know if this is what it wants us to do. But, one of the things you can do is you can block a creature with more than 1 creature. So what we can do is we can actually block this guy with both our creatures. And he will do 3 damage, which will be enough to kill 1 of these 2. But we will also, between the 2, do 3 damage back, which will be enough to kill them.
Hey, nobody kills my troops but me!
So there you go. Now there's only 1 of them. Oh. So he's playing a sorcery here for 1 that says, as an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a goblin. So he's going to kill this goblin, and that's going to do 5 damage straight to me. Ouch. But now my opponent has nothing. And so we're just going to swing for 3, because he has nothing out.
Where's an army of expendable minions when you need one?
Let's see what he's got up his sleeve.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, okay. Oh, man. Not the best. When Goblin Gang Leader enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 red goblin creature tokens. So this will be what these are. They are creature tokens, so anything that triggers off of a creature still triggers for these. However, there are some things that only trigger off of creature tokens. Alright, so it's our turn. He wasn't able to attack. If we attack with this, we're just going to get killed. So we're not going to attack here. What we are going to do is play our last planes, which will give us 5, and let us play this guy. And now he's expensive. He's 5 mana. And but he's a 3/4, and he has a nice little ability that says we gain 4 life. Now, you might be wondering, what do you mean 5 mana? Now, if you look up in the corner again, we've got the 2 white circles, like the white suns. Those are white mana, which is generated by planes. But then there's also that 3 in that colorless box. That is 3 colorless mana, meaning 3 mana of any color. So we will generate 5 white mana with this, which is enough to pay the 2 white mana plus the 3 any color mana that is required to cast this creature.
Nice defense. He'd be a fool to attack you now.
Never hold back. Never back down. Never walk barefoot in a goblin warren.
Okay, so he is going to attack us. And if we get our blocks right here, we should be alright. So we're going to block the 2-2 with our 3-4. And then we're going to block both of these with our other two. And we should, unless he has a trick up his sleeve, we should kill all 3 of his creatures just by blocking. Was not a wise move by our opponent.
The pain.
Oh!
This is going to hurt.
Alright. Notice what that said. This is a big hitter. It costs 5 again, so 2 red, 3 colorless. It's a 7/3, and when it enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to each player. So he took damage and we took damage. Now we're gonna throw this guy up here, and we're actually gonna press our attack here. Because we're going to have this one guy set back to defend. Now if you look, he does 3 damage, which will still be enough to kill this guy. And he can only block one of these, right? And the other ones will get through. So most likely he will block this creature here, and we will get 4 damage through. He could block this, but if he blocks this, then he's just going to die to this, and we'll still get 3 through. So here we go. We're going to press our attack. Okay, just like I said, he blocked that, survived, but we did get that damage through. And look, now he's going to swing. Now we could just let him hit us for 7, because we have, 13 life. But you don't always want to do that. Sometimes you want to really pay attention to what your opponent has. If you look up here, he has 5 mana, and he has 1 card. So with that 1 card, he could cast an instant spell. Now, instant spells happen at instant speed, and so they could immediately take effect. And who knows, with 5 mana, he could have some kind of instant spell that somehow pumps this creature another 6 damage, and then we would lose. So we are going to declare this blocker here. With that,
The general knows when they're beat, so you should probably give up now.
telling us we should give up. That's funny. Now we had a nice spell here where we could destroy a tapped creature, but he doesn't have any. We already took care of that.
Mercy on me,
We can do 4 damage here, so we're going to go ahead and swing.
It's the pokey bits that hurt the most.
Again, guys, I'm sorry if you guys are, already know how to play Magic, and, some of this stuff is going a little slow, and maybe you're just here to just learn how to play Magic the Gathering Arena, but I want to kind of make this for everybody that's either new to Magic the Gathering Arena or new to Magic in general. So we're going to go a little slow while we introduce the basics of Magic, just like the tutorial kind of goes through it, and then we'll get more deep into stuff. Alright, cool, we unlocked some cards. So you can kind of go through. Here is another type of spell. This is called an enchantment. Now, enchantments are like creatures in that when they come into battle, they stay in battle until they are either destroyed themselves, or most of the time these will get attached to a creature. Like these enchantment or auras get attached to a creature. Some don't get attached to creatures, but these particular ones do. And when the creature they're attached to dies, they also get discarded. All right, so those are going to get added to our deck that we're building up right
You're
now.
a quick learner. So let's try a more challenging lesson.
So here we go, and I'm guessing by the look of this guy.
There's a mystic there who spent his life studying the nuances of combat.
Guessing this is going to be a blue deck. So as you play Magic more, you'll learn that each color.
He might look like any other merfolk, but his knowledge is boundless. Stay patient and keep an open mind.
If it is wisdom you seek, I will teach you.
Alright, sorry guys.
Birds fly freely, unfettered by earthly bonds.
I'm just trying to let the game speak, not interrupt the dialogue there. Anyway, what I was getting at is, as you play more and more Magic, you'll realize that each of the each of the 5 main colors kind of has a play style. and you'll learn that. White tends to be about, it's usually about either a lot of little creatures, and it tends to be the color that has the most healing. It likes gaining life. Blue is basically the control color. They tend to really like to control the game, and they do that most of the time by not letting the opponent do what they want to do while they're playing the game. Meaning they have a lot of spells that will actually counter spells that you cast, which means they don't even come out into the game. They get countered before they come out. Black is kind of the color of death, and it very much plays that way. It likes has a lot of spells that will outright kill creatures, and then also has a lot of mechanics where they bring stuff back from the graveyard. Now the graveyard is what your discard pile is. Red tends to be a very aggressive deck. They like to have they tend to have a lot of creatures with haste, and they also have a lot of spells that straight up just do damage. And sometimes that damage is straight up to the player themselves. And then green tends to be the color of like big stompy things, big forest creatures, pumping those creatures. And they also like a lot of healing too. They have a lot of healing as well. Alright, so as you see, our opponent had first turn. They got an island out, which is what color casts blah. What generates blue mana. Sorry about the like blahs and uhs and all that stuff, guys. Again, this is my first video, so just bear with me. He used that blue mana to cast this creature. Now this creature is just a 1/1, but you'll notice it has a keyword, and that keyword is flying. Flying allows you to fly over your opponent's creatures, unless your opponent's creatures have flying. So you cannot block this creature with a ground creature unless your creature has the flying keyword. And then there's also a keyword called reach, which will not give you flying, meaning you can't fly over your opponent's stuff, but a creature with reach can block a creature with flying. So, but we do have a 1/1 drop, and that's going to be our, sorry, a 1/2 drop, but a 1 mana drop, which is going to be our cat.
Connected. You must understand the air, land, and sea.
So you can see now our opponent is going to play that enchantment.
Bird can fly over any blockers on the ground.
And see, we don't even get a chance to block because our creature doesn't have flying or reach. Alright, now you can see here what happened is this is the aura.
You give it a shot.
Good. You've been paying attention.
So just like our opponent, we enchanted our creature with an aura. And again, these enchantments will stay in play and affect our creature until either the creature dies or the enchantment is destroyed. So this one is attached to this one and gives him +1/+1, and ours gives our creature +2/+2. And since he has no untapped creatures, we can hit him back for 3.
Obstacles may block your path, but do not lose sight of your true goal.
Is that crab wearing a pirate hat?
Now we could attack with this creature, but if you notice, he's got an 0/4. Now that creature won't do any damage back to us, but we won't do enough damage to kill this creature. So it's almost pointless to attack, unless we had some kind of instant spell that would give us more power. So we're just going to hold back and not attack here.
Battles ebb and flow.
Keep going. He's running out of cards.
So if you look, what just happened there is our opponent played an enchantment. Now enchantments can actually be played on your opponent's cards. So he played one of his enchantments on our card. You might be wondering, well, why would you do that? Well, some enchantments are negative. So if you look at this, Water Knot, enchanted creature. When Water Knot enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature does not untap during its controller's untap step, which just basically means this creature of ours is just going to stay tapped. And unless we can get rid of this enchantment, this creature is just going to stay tapped, which means for the most part it's just going to be useless. Now, we'll get into this later in the game, but some creatures have abilities that are on their cards that don't require being tapped for them to trigger. And so a creature that is affected by this type of enchantment can still be useful sometimes if it has an ability on it that isn't a tapped ability. So we'll see that later, probably, especially once we start playing games ourselves and not going through the tutorial. Now, you can load up creatures with as many enchantments as you want, so we're going to actually throw this enchantment on our cat, and our cat's going to go to a 5/6. Now we are going to attack, and he will block with this creature, so he won't take any damage, but we will kill this crab.
If you keep to the shallows, you'll never learn the secrets of the depths.
Wow, that sounds deep.
Ah, there you go. Got another blocker. So what just happened there is our opponent actually played a sorcery card that just says straight up draw 2 cards. So even though that was his last card, he got to draw 2 cards, and then he still had enough mana to play a crab he got, which is kind of unfortunate for us. However, we did draw mana, so we're going to get, or sorry, a land. So we're going to be able to play that, which will now give us 5 lands, which allows us to generate 5 mana. Play this guy again. So we'll go 4. We'll send our attacker in again. He'll block with the crab again. The crab will die. Oh man, he keeps getting lands. That's unfortunate for him. Oh! Okay.
Unlike big waves, do not blame the ocean when you get carried away.
These lessons are just so majestic.
Man, 5/6, not super fun. Now we do have this, which can make any of our creature 3/3 with flying, which is nice. So it's you're kind of at a choice here. Which one do you throw it on? We could throw it on this one, and that would make us an 8/9 with flying. We could fly over and do 8 damage, and yeah, that's probably pretty good. We could also do it. We could also throw it on this guy and make him a 6/7 with flying. Now, a 6/7 would be able to kill this guy. So I actually think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna put it on this guy and just not attack this turn. Oh, we can attack. Sorry, I forgot. I still think we're not gonna attack if the game will let us. Alright, it's telling us to attack, but usually I would just hold back here. Because the next turn, what's our opponent going to do? Attack with both of these and we could kill him. But it's telling us to press our advantage, so that's what we're going to do. If I'd known the game was going to make us do that, I would have just thrown it on there. Alright, so again, we're in this situation where our opponent is going to hit us for 2 and is going to hit us for 4 more. So we can block that without that guy dying.
The student is a river. The teacher is an ocean. The master is also an ocean.
Wait, what? That last one sounds a bit fishy.
Oh man, he got another one of those out.
You know what? The mystic I was thinking of isn't even a merfolk.
Got another enchantment. He's got no way to block this. And boom, done.
It was fun while it lasted.
Alright, we unlocked 2 more cards. These are both instances, so I guess the game is probably going to introduce us to that mechanic next. This one says target blocking or block creature you control gains +2/+2 until end of turn. And this one says cast the spell only if a creature is attacking you, and you create 3/1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying. Alright.
Okay, you're almost ready to take on anyone, including whoever roughed you up in the first place. For your last lesson, let's head to Tarkir to learn the art of surprise.
So here we go. I'm guessing this is going to be a black deck we're going to play against. And I'm sure we'll see those 2 cards we just got. So let's do it.
Watch her every move, and be ready for anything.
So if you notice, it says this opponent has spells they can cast on your turn. Those are instances. Alright. Get her mana out. Play her first creature.
Go on, attack me.
Play her second mana. Play her second creature. It says go on, attack me. I have a feeling that's because it's going to have a spell that does something to our attacker.
This is my favorite part.
Alright, so this is an instant spell. Instant spells can be played pretty much at any time. Now you notice we declared this attacker, but when an instant spell happens, it happens before we can even get this particular one happen before we could get our damage in.
Like I get under your skin. Your move.
So as we play more Magic, you'll learn about what's called the stack. Basically, the stack is, since you and your opponent can play instances at any time. Basically, what will happen is your opponent plays an instant, and then you get a chance to react with an instant. And by the time it's all said and done, you might have like 3 or 4 instances that have been played. I mean, usually that's kind of rare. But whatever card is at the top of that stack is what happens first. So if you notice in there, the stack was we attacked and we were going to do damage, but then they played this instant spell. So the first part of the stack is the top card, which is this, which destroys target creature with power 2 or less. So it killed our creature before our creature actually got to do the damage it was set to do. So here we go. We're going to attack. Oh, no. Now, usually creatures can only be played on your turn. However, if you notice, this creature has Flash. Flash means it can be played basically any time you could play an instant. So he's going to play this creature that has Flash, and it's going to block ours. And it's a 2/1, so it's going to do enough damage to kill us. Now, we will also kill it, but our opponent won't take damage. Alright, we're just going to keep up with this. Make our creature a 4/4. And there you go. Creature's opponent has another 2/1 blocker. It won't kill us this time. Now.
Aw, we don't even get a hit in.
So I kind of want to break down what happened there. But we'll let my opponent go through, and then we'll Alright, so let's break down what happened there, because you might be like, what happened? So, we attacked with this creature. It declared its one creature as a blocker, right? But then you saw it die, and what it did was, before we actually did damage to it, it used this card, which says as an additional cost to cast the spell, sacrifice a creature, and then you draw 2 cards. Once a blocker has been declared, the attacking creature is considered blocked, even if the blocker is no longer there to take damage. So that's one of the interesting little interactions with Magic, and that's what happened there. He threw this in, our opponent threw this in, blocked with him, or her, and then sacrifice that creature to draw 2 cards, and it was going to die anyway to us, so that's a good play by our opponent, and drew 2 cards, and our damage didn't go through even though that creature was no longer there. Alright, so we got ours as a 4/4. Now we got this.
You can't afford to take another hit like that.
What we're going to do is we're actually going to attack, but it's telling us to hold back. The reason I'm thinking we should attack here is because they have this creature. It's a 5/5, and we have a 4/4, but we do have an instant here that would give our creature +2/+2, which would make us a 6/6, and we would kill this creature. And our opponent, while does have 4 cards in its hand, has no mana. Now, I guess why it's telling us to be careful is because we do know our opponent does have creatures with flash. But that's not the same as haste, so, you know, I think we should press the advantage here, but I guess it's going to have us use this card when they attack with us, when they attack with this guy.
Block first. Then it's time for some trickery of your own.
Okay, so we're going to declare this as a blocker. Okay, and then
Cast it now.
we're going to play our instant, which is going to make us a 6/6.
Ooh, very clever.
Now again, we're kind of on rails here. The reason I thought attacking would have been better was because our opponent is tapped out. Always be cautious when your opponent has lands available to tap for mana, because that means it could have tricks. You never know. Our opponent could have had a card there that also boosted its creature, and then, you know, we had an opportunity on our turn to potentially kill him. But he didn't. I guess one of the reasons I was saying not to and hold back was because our opponent could have also just not blocked, and then we would have just done our damage of 4, and then he would have hit us for 5, so it would have beat us there. So that's probably why I had us not do that. But, you know, if they had blocked, we would have been able to kill it there. And we were also in danger with them having mana there, of having a spell that could have, you know, either straight up destroyed our creature or boosted their creature enough to kill us, and we would have been in just as bad a position. Oh man, 2 flash cards.
You've fallen right into my trap.
Now he's going to block with both of them,
Ready.
which would normally be enough to kill our creature, but we are going to play this.
I've got nothing, really. I'm at your mercy.
I don't believe that.
Looks like you've let your guard down.
Now, this is interesting.
Now it's my turn.
Hurry! Make some blockers!
Alright, so let's just break down what happened there. So one of the interesting things about Flash is that you can cast those on your opponent's turn. And what you can do is you can wait until after your opponent's attacked and then spend the mana to cast them. So since they were cast on our turn, they don't have summoning system sickness and can attack on their turn, which is nice. So they thought they were going to get us, but we actually fortunately have this card that can defend. Now, one of the things anybody that's played Magic will notice is that they actually have 7 of this creature in this constructed deck. They probably should have just went with another creature that had Flash, because here they have 4 and then they have 3 out. And in Magic, you can only, besides your basic lands, you can only have 4 of any given card in your deck. So this deck that our opponent is using, even though it's a tutorial, is actually illegal, which is kind of funny. So we're going to play this. We're just going to create these 1/1s, and then we can block with them. And they will actually kill all of those. because these are only 2/1s.
Why won't you die?
Now you've got her.
And now we're going to boost this. Our opponent has no cards in hand, so we're not worried about anything. We're going to attack with our 7/7, and boom, that's that
I'll
game.
be in touch.
Here we go. Got 2 more cards that are going to go into our deck. This guy is a 6-drop. He costs 2 white and 4 colorless. He's a 1/4, so he's really expensive considering what his power and toughness is. Usually, you want creatures that are going to be, for whatever their mana cost, they should have about that power and toughness. So like a 3-drop. So when I say drop, I mean that's what it costs to drop. Play that creature. A 3-drop in general should be a 3/3, unless they have special abilities, and this is where he makes up for that cost. And it says, whenever another creature of power 2 or less enters the battlefield under our control, we gain 1 life and draw a card. Card draw in this game is very, very crucial. So anything that gives you card draw tends to be expensive. And then over here, we have a very classic card. This card has been in the game since the game was originally made. This is just a reprint. It's Serra Angel. It costs 5 for a 4/4, which usually wouldn't be that great, but it has flying. Okay, so that's nice. And then it has an awesome keyword called Vigilance. Vigilance allows a creature to attack, but it doesn't tap when it attacks, which means it'll still be available for you to defend with. So basically, this creature pretty much never taps unless your opponent has something that interacts with it to tap it.
Nice job. That was some quick thinking. When we first met, you looked within an inch of your life. But now you're unstoppable. Who were you fighting in the first place, anyway?
Nicol Bolas. After I annihilated you, I really didn't expect to see you again.
What? This is a terrible idea. There's no way you're prepared for this guy.
Alright, you're going to see some tricks in this battle, I promise you.
I'll make a deal with you, Planeswalker. Defeat me, and I'll let you go. Lose, and you will serve me for eternity.
Fight as if your life depended on it.
Now, one of the things you're going to see in this deck is you don't always have to play just a single color. Your deck can be made up of multiple colors, and I would guarantee our opponent here is going to have a deck made up of multiple colors. There you go, black-red.
Sometimes you need to make a tough decision.
So if you look, we have a creature that costs 2. So what's going on here is when this mummy comes into play, each player discards a card. This is telling us what to do, which is saying discard a Plains card. That's what I'd actually choose to do if I was playing this by myself without a tutorial, because we have enough mana currently to cast the rest of what's in our hand, even with one of these discarded. So we'll discard one of those.
Did he just throw away a dragon?
You look surprised. I do as I choose with what is mine, and it is all mine.
Oof.
Everything here exists or perishes at my will.
So as you can see, he's actually playing 3 colors. Now usually when you're building a deck, you want to stick to 1 or 2. Usually most really successful decks are 2. Occasionally you can go up to 3, 4, 5, but most decks usually only run 2 colors. And the reason for that is, while it sounds on paper, like, it would be cool to have all these colors and have access to like all these abilities. What ends up happening is you have to have the right mana color to cast those spells, and if you run too many different colors, that means you're less likely to get the mana that you need to cast said spells. So usually most successful decks, especially in standard level, tend to only be 2 colors.
Power is the only thing that matters. There is nothing else. I will let nothing stand in the way of what I seek. Not even death.
So here we go. Here's the first time we've seen something. Oof. So this is our first time we've seen something interact with the graveyard. So he played this card that says put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. The creature is a black zombie in addition to its other colors. Excuse me. Now, remember earlier in the game, our guide per se made a comment about, did he just discard a dragon? Usually you can't discard cards just into your graveyard unless you have a card that allows you to do that, or maximum hand size is 7. So if he had 8 cards, he could do that. But he's like, oh, I can do whatever I want, and just did that. And the reason the game did that was so he could use this card later to bring said dragon back. Now, if you notice, that was a red dragon when he cast it, but because of that spell, it also gained the black type and became a zombie. It wasn't a zombie, that's why it's in blue. This creature has flying and has haste, so it can't come in and just smack us right in the face for 4. We're going to gain that 4 life back right here with our creature. Now he has no blocker, so we're going to push our attack right now. Make sure we do our 3 damage.
Enough of this.
This is probably not going to be good. When you cast your next instance or sorcery spell, copy that spell. You may choose a new target for that copy. Oof. It's going to do 2 damage twice. Now, because he's basically getting to cast that twice. Oof. Just wipe this out. Comes another 4 damage. We can't do anything about. We're going to need some good draws here. Oof. And he gets to draw 7 cards. Wow.
My triumph is at hand.
Now, luckily, our little trigger here is going to happen where we're going to gain a life. And we're going to draw a card. Here we go. Again, gain a life, draw a card.
We just might be able to pull this off.
Destroy tapped creature. Gonna get rid of him because he's tapped now.
No matter. Soon there will be nothing left of you either.
Ouch.
Hey!
All succumb to Bolas.
Hold back, so you can prepare for his attack.
Man. We're just gonna eat this. We can play this card, so this is gonna be nice because it's gonna let us draw and gain a bunch of life.
I've underestimated you.
And we can block, or we could just take all of that. I think we're gonna block one of this. Just take the 6 damage. Play this again, so let us draw another card.
Impudence.
Hey, got our angel. Nice.
An angel. Do you really think a mere angel will stop me? My power is beyond that of a god.
Alright. So we can block with her, and we have 1 mana to pump it. So we're going to swing with all of these, especially since we're not going to block with that. That hurt. Oh boy. Now, we're going to block here. Okay. We're going to play this. Keep our angel alive.
Admit defeat.
We've come this far, don't give up now.
Now he has no flyers to block us. So we're going to make her 7/7, 8, 9. That won't be enough to kill him. So we'll just swing with this, especially since it has vigilance.
My patience is wearing thin. Let's finish it.
Alright. Well, we can block there. We're actually going to block right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to play this on him, make him a 3/3, which will be enough to kill that creature too.
This is it.
Gain our life. Swing back. And there we go.
I'm impressed.
Alright guys, and looks like we beat the first part of the tutorial.
Woohoo! That dragon better think twice before he tries messing with you again.
Here we go, we unlocked a couple decks. These are all single colored decks. One of the cool things in Magic Arena is whenever you unlock cards, even if it's these pre-constructed decks, you unlock those cards for you to be able to build decks with. So, pretty sweet there. Alright, and looks like we're downloading a little bit. You can look and laugh at my download speeds here. So, just going to get to this next screen after we're done downloading, but I'm pretty sure this is where this video is going to come to an end, which is that first tutorial. Video is going to be, looks like, a little bit over an hour, so I thank you for anybody that's watched this, especially anybody that's played Magic. It's probably a little slow. Again, I'm trying to gear this towards people that have never played Magic at all. But as we go on through these, I'll be doing less and less of that, and it'll be more about playing Magic the Gathering Arena. If you guys have made it this far to the video, I really, really appreciate it. If you could go ahead and subscribe to my channel and give me a like on this video, it really, really help me. I'm going to be trying to pump out content for this game pretty quickly. You know, hopefully early on, I'm going to be trying to maybe drop a video every day. Obviously, I won't be able to keep that pace up forever, but I will definitely be trying to get a lot of content out for Magic the Gathering Arena, and then hopefully in the future I could get into some non-arena content too. I would like to get to the point where I'm like cracking cases and, you know, doing that kind of stuff too, like doing actual physical card game stuff too, maybe opening some booster boxes or anything like that too. But early on, this channel is going to be focused mostly around Magic the Gathering Arena. And looks like for some reason I'm having issues loading this last part. So anyway, guys, I think we'll actually call this video here done, complete. So stay tuned for the walkthrough part 2 after this. And again, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.